It's his delight. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Elohim, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kodash Bakatham. I'm going to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. I'm going to say peace and salutations to the Akim, across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. So shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, in the land of other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. This is your brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. This lesson was inspired by a video, for whatever reason, it's an algorithm, based with YouTube, and the AI, artificial intelligence and whatnot. Long story short, they look at trends and patterns and what you tend to view. And like I say, it's funny because no matter what GMS video I watch, that guy at 19 keys pops up afterwards. So I was looking like, Satan, being funny. But ultimately everything's the Lord. But now, whenever I watch a financial channel, it's a particular financial guy that pops up. So, with that being said, I just so happened to listen to some of the things he was speaking on, and I'm just gonna play it, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have I can't clip his video, he probably want to monetize everything, so I'm gonna just say fair use, Copyright Act. This is being used to pretty much, pull out scriptures. I'm not making money off of this. I'm not using it. More so for educational purposes. So I'm just gonna jump right in.
Depositors, want their money back, and they're holding assets that are, in this case, have gone down in value, so they're broke.
Let me put a fine point on that. Sorry, before you move on, I don't know that people really...
Okay, now this is what I wanted to get. Just a brief education on the financial system. And, if you're not aware of any of this, then, that's a terrifying thought to me. Knowledge is power. That's why the scriptures talking about wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our times. Isaiah chapter 33. You got these people who are so bombarded with all this tomfoolery and bullshit and just these distractions, and just people are in that selfish mindset. When you go into 2 Timothy chapter 3, it talks about people will be lovers of their own selves, vain. People are more, that's why everybody, this is the perfect timing to bring out this TikTok shit and the YouTube where it's all about a person, or the Facebook. Facebook motherfucker tell you everything they did in one day, from what they ate to what they put on to go to bed. You know what I mean? Especially these hoes. And that's just that make that, not understanding that Esau got a whole you talking about talking about the chains of darkness, or talking about the yoke of iron. He got even a more seductive yoke of iron on these people because he got their minds. But without further ado,
you understand this is this a it seems to be a necessary result of fractional reserve banking, meaning that if you deposit $10 to me, I only need to keep, and I think this is actually accurate, I only need to keep $1. And so the other $9 I can actually put to work in terms of loans to other people or investments. And that puts us in a position where, okay, technically you're giving the bank a loan. A deposit isn't just, oh, my money is in a vault somewhere. I've given the bank a loan.
And people don't understand that. We got a brother, we blessed to have a particular brother. I'm not going to go into too much detail. The men of the Lord that do this will and his work, do his will and his work, the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We know what type of brothers are involved in the truth. And it's brothers from all walks of life. You've had brothers that well off to do. Shit. Hell, myself, I came from being homeless. I wasn't always homeless, you know what I mean? For contrary to what, but the point is, the Lord took me through some things, so I could say, and at first I was real resentful, and I was, why Lord me and all that. But then I learned to appreciate it, because I've actually had experience giving up everything. I pray I would be in that same spirit when the Lord does this again. But this for the final time, you know. But you got individuals that you can't say, you don't know what you can do until you've actually been through it. You know, you got a motherfucker talking about, you got people that train to box and get out there in the boxing ring and freeze up. You know, you don't know yourself until, you know, this is a show called Vikings. A brother put me onto it, one of the elder brothers in the camp, and it was a good show. Got into it, but couldn't get into the other seasons because it was hard to find or whatnot. Long story short, you know, you had Ragnar Lothbrok and his sons, and you had the one son, Jorn Ironside, the oldest, and he pretty much told his father, like, yeah, I want to go out into the woods or into the wilderness and, you know, basically see if I can survive. And his father, as a man, you know, pretty much told him, like, well, yeah, you know, do what you want to do. But he also said, I think you make a mistake. But as men, we got to let men do what men do. You know, even if you see a man about to run into a pitfall, which is the truth. You know, I had to, you know, you think out of sincerity and love, you know, sometimes, you know, like I've heard it's about the delivery. So if I'm about to save your life, do I really got to say, please stop? Or do I say, motherfucking truck coming? You know what I mean? Like, and then I've heard brothers use that same analogy, but then get offended when somebody yelling, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, not to digress on the point. At the end of the day, you don't know what you're capable of until you've done it. That's why, you know, the Lord can instill certain things within a man. But saying all that to say this, the way the system is set up, we're all pretty much debt slaves to the system. And people didn't even know that. Like, again, one of the brothers was telling us how he went to the bank trying to withdraw some money, and they got to questioning him about what he want to use his money for. Because when you don't read the fine print of those, you know, when you open up a bank account, it's fine print. How many people? I recently just opened up a bank account. I didn't read that shit because it took like 30 minutes just to do the shit. I'm really just looking at it. But, you know, again, that's all that fine print. Like he said, and that's pretty much a loan. That's why, you know, everybody even come to the point of being able to bail in. You know what I mean? Taking your money to finance these companies and the government. So this shit about to get real shrewd, but Salakia.
The bank is going to go do things with that of varying degrees of risk. In the case of SVB, they thought I'm doing the least risky thing, which is...
Now, SVB was the Silicon Valley Bank. And, you know, what happened was you had bank runs. What the bank had did was they took the customer deposits money and they went and bought government bonds. But showing you that you... Matter of fact, let me get that now. Showing you can't trust in none of this shit. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm. So when you trust in yourself, because ultimately the Lord created all of us. And yeah, the Lord favors certain men more than others, and everybody's created for a purpose. But when you get to trusting in yourself or another man more than the Lord, that's where you erred in your ways. And whose heart departed from the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. It talks about, I forgot where it's at. I think it's in the Apocrypha. It says, the beginning of pride is when one departed from his maker. I'm going to hold that because, you know, there's something else in there.
I'm buying government debt. The government is going to back it. The government, especially the U.S. government, can actually print money if they had to cover that, which they did in this case. But if a lot of people go to the bank at the same time, known as a bank run, and say, I want all of my money, the bank goes, whoa, 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 I don't have that money. And so I have all these assets. And as long as those assets remain liquid and I can liquidate them in a timely fashion, then sure, as long as the requests for people's deposits back are coming at a reasonable rate, all is well. But when you get a lot of people coming at once and you have the investments that they've made have gone down in value, now you get a perfect storm.
Exactly. I think you said it very well. You're allowed to be in the business. Let's call it 1/10. It's actually less than 1/10.
I just wanted to get that part. He says not really even, because, you know, we've all been under that misconception about a bank got to have 10% of the money, so they got to have 100,000 and loan $1 million. But he's saying no, it's actually less than that, and I can see that because all of the fact, you know, like how these banks pretty much been propped up by, you know, the Fed, you know. I can't think of the name of that program that they started that just ended, where pretty much all these banks was going, because all the banks are pretty much insolvent. And you got these major banks as well. That's why they're closing branches, because all of this is one big part of the system. So what do you think is going to happen if more and more people lose their jobs, more and more people stop spending? Because basically, in order to, pretty much have inflation go down, they want people to stop spending. That's why, you ain't heard nobody talk about the government coming with help or stimulus checks. When they printed all that money, people wasn't really in dire need of help. Now people are in dire need of help, and the government ain't even saying nothing. Showing you they put you. And the funny part is all this inflation comes back from them fucking printing the money. I was watching a guy named Ron Yates. He said that these motherfuckers are literally poking at the idea of making us pay back the stimuluses. Now, I mean, I want the Lord to do whatever it is the Lord's will, but just imagine what these people are going to do. If you talking about people are heavily in debt, people are struggling, why do you think people are doing all this psychotic shit? Why do you think all these spirits out here? What do you think is about to happen when you talk about you owe the government $15,000? Oh, the Lord gonna bring some spirits out here there for real. So at the end of the day, yeah. Because of the monetary system. That's why I said a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, because this monetary system is a false balance. They don't really have the money to loan you. Pretty much, you're giving them the ability to operate. You know what I'm saying? And that's witchcraft. They take your money, you know what I'm saying, or give you, because pretty much if they only got to have 10% of what's in the bank or what's on paper, then they can make a loan out of thin air and give it to you, and then you default on that loan, and they take your real hard assets. So they made something out of nothing. The fucking devil. This is the book of Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And, when you go to that word penny, it's a denarius, meaning a day's wage for a Roman soldier. So, a day's wage for a Roman soldier for or a denarius for or a penny or a denarius for, wheat. Well, it's going to take a day's wage to buy bread. And we seen it. I just went shopping today, you know what I mean? And I got some shit that literally, like, a couple years ago would have probably been $30-$40. I really got fruits. I got a couple things that may have came up to maybe 10, 15, like a couple processed things, you know what I mean? Like, but not like that, I got, some orange juice. I got fruit. I got cucumbers. I got, this shit came up to $100. And like saying, they talking about inflation is about to increase. Like another 30%. It's another economist or keeper of the house I watched. He was saying, yeah, they was talking about Wells Fargo or Chase or somebody made a prediction. Inflation about to increase about like 30%. So if you're already paying all these ridiculous prices for the food, now just imagine. And then when there's a shortage of food, yeah. So pretty much because of the monetary system, how this shit set up on false weights and balances, pretty much this inflation, because this is not real money. We're not using real money. We're using paper. Well, like I said, the way that this financial system is set up is just fraudulent, So if a system is set up fraudulently from the get-go, how do you expect that system to prosper? This is the book of Genesis chapter 47, and I'm going to start at verse 13. And it reads, And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore. And we coming into times like that now. You know what I mean? But that's not even for times when people had the money, they just couldn't find none. It's gonna be on top of the fact people ain't gonna have the money and they ain't gonna be able to find no food like that. Although the government's gonna have it. You know what I mean? Then the thing is, they're gonna hoard the real food and try to give you all this processed, GMO made up, plant-based food. I mean, these people are sick, psychotic fucking individuals. When you really watch the movies, some of these movies, and you see how, like, God damn, the Lord's so cold. He even showing us these things in different ways for, decades now, centuries even. It says, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by the reason of the famine. So shit was hard. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And this is the same playbook that the devil, the so-called white man who's really red in appearance, is going to use, because this man reads the Bible. He searches out things. He may not believe because he's not a spiritual man. He's carnal. That's why he's going to try to use a carnal tactic by controlling the food and the resources in order for you to submit. But a person, Scripture says, man does not live by bread alone. And those that are truly one of the Lord's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua elect, they're going to forsake everything, even to the point of death. It says, verse 15, the point, and when money failed in the land of Egypt, which money's fallen in the modern day Egypt, because Egypt and America are synonymous with the bondage of the children of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. God's chosen people. You again, you're duped to think that you're free, but they have shackles on your mind. You know what I mean? Which is even worse. You know what I mean? And they show you that, like I said, like you could train a motherfucking a dog to literally, like this devil do it all the time, like a lion or a gorilla. If a gorilla or a lion realized how strong it was, you don't think. I see some things that my dog do. He got these chains that's supposed to be, my dog is like a mid-sized dog. I'm getting these chains that's supposed to be for a 150-pound dog. He's snapping. You know what I mean? So, that's why people be trying to get these, those big channel lock chains, those big, those toe pulling chains, But yeah, it's still, you don't want to have something like that heavy on his neck. But at the same time, things adapt. Just like, that saying that the elder always speaks on. Hard times make hard men. What? No, ma'am. She was like, we're cute. Anyhow, men adapt. That's what it's, they're saying. Hard times make hard men. Hard men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. And then that cycle revolves. And that's why scriptures talk about, a man like the goat of Ophir. The spiritual, because I just thought about that. The brother named his son, one of his sons, Ophir. That's a special son to him. And he got a lot of boys, so. But it says, and when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence, for the money faileth. And that's what they're banking on, majority of these Babylonians doing in modern times. I mean, like I said again, if you got any spirituality, the Lord blessed you with any kind of spirituality, even if you believe in, well, I can't say that, because you got some people that believe in some bullshit and they don't see this for what it's coming. They talking about new awakening and realignment and all this old shit. You can't see what these devils doing though. You can see all this old shit, cosmic, this happened, and the blood moon and the eclipse did this, and gravitational pull, and mighty push shit, like talking shit. I was watching some Naruto yesterday, but this morning. But the point being, almighty push. But still you can't see, what this, and then what else makes me just shake my head at these individuals, because they'll sit up there and have something to say about the Bible, but the Bible is pretty much telling you everything we're seeing now, showing you how powerful just the book is, let alone the spirit, that the Lord's gonna have. I claim you for the kingdom in the name of the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem. So Salakia for that. So with that, yeah. And again, it's gonna get so, because when you go into the word confidence, faith, and hope, they're all synonymous. And you're gonna have people that's gonna have their faith, and you're gonna have people's faith that's gonna be broken. They're gonna put their confidence in man, which scripture said, put not thy confidence in man, and they hope. Well, I say what they hope. They're gonna hope their faith is gonna be broken, and they're gonna hope in man. Yeah. Which is gonna lead them astray. You know what I mean? Like, you know, scriptures talk about blessed be the man that trusteth in the Lord. This is the book of back in Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 6. For he shall be like a, I'm gonna start back at verse 5, and it reads Jeremiah 17 and 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and make of flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land and not inhabited. That individual's gonna be left to devise or to try to fend for himself. You know, scriptures talk about damn, it's at the tip of my tongue, but all those that trusted in the Lord who have been basically left astray, or I mean, you got to take time to think about this. I always use this analogy because I read it in a book. You know, it was called More Than a Carpenter, which is a free book. You can get a PDF, and it's a great book because it was written from the perspective of an atheist who became a believer. All the messiahs who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, followers, his disciples, died painful deaths. None of them renounced the belief in their Lord. Talking about faith. What people you know like that in the world today? I know some, and they call themselves, you know, believers of this truth. The men of the great millstone, starting with our elders and apostles, first and foremost, our teachers. Verse 7, the point, blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and whose hope the Lord is. I wish I should have got, matter of fact, I'm going to get that in the blue letter. I want to teach now, huh? I got to start being more of a teacher, but camp about to start, but I wanted to get this Colossians 2. I was on that, I'm going to get that word, trusteth. Jeremiah 17, verse 7. That word trusteth.
Strong's H982. Batach.
Batak, and it says to trust in, trust in, to have confidence. And faith and confidence are synonymous. Be confident, to be bold. You know, that's what scriptures talk about. You know, what's that in Wisdom of Solomon? Those that believe still boldly. You know, the scriptures talk about the righteous being bold as lions. It says to be secure, to cause to trust, to make secure, to feel safe. Be careful. And because, you know, if you've been following what, you know, that agent or whatever you want to call him, you know, call him for what he is, vocab Malone went into with the breakdown of Isaiah 65, scripture, verse 13, and it reads, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And that's going to them 2/3 and these heathens. Everybody that the Lord is not going to be fucking with, dealing with, they're going to be vexed. You know what I mean? Again, with having no hope. You know, It's something about like you could be locked up and knowing that you got to outdate. Allow you to deal with it. It's certain things that your mind can wrap around. But when you got certain things like I say, when a motherfucker don't know when he's seeing the light of day, that'll fuck you up. So the Lord gonna fuck these people up psychologically, physically, spiritually. Call Loyam Laya Habashim Shot the water for this glorious, beautiful truth, this light. Salaki Habashim Shot for all my shortcomings and anything that I've done to offend you. Because again, you can see the world waxing colder and colder, and that's because the Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is waxing colder and colder. It says we're like a smoke in his nose. So I'm going to end this with Philippians chapter 4 and verse 19. And it reads, Philippians 4:19, but my power shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory by Mashiach Yahushua. So if you have that mindset, the Lord going to provide and take care of you in all things, that's the mindset that the elect are going to have, that's actually, going to be willing to lay down their lives on the line for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So I believe I'm going to end the lesson with that. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to call Loyam like Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rachakadosh V'Katam. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. I say shalom to the Akim and Aqua thought to listen and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth to you. I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.